Welcome in to the first ever All-City NHL Mock Draft. We will be doing the full first round, all 32 picks. We've got everyone in the house, all of CHGO, DNVR, and PHNX divvied up all of the teams in the first round to have some fun, do a bunch of picking, do a bunch of drafting. I'm ready to go, AJ. Do you have your picks ready? Do you know who you want?
I mean, given that I don't pick until the middle of the first round.
you got some work to do. All right, that's fair.
Sure, but we've got some work to do to get there till I start to be relevant.
Fair enough. I don't think there's a ton to say really. I think we should just jump into the picks. Do we even have to do this first one? We have Jay from CHGO picking for Chicago first overall. I think we all know who he's about to pick here, though.
Sure hope so.
Unless something crazy happens.
With the number one pick in the 2023 NHL Draft, the Chicago Blackhawks are proud to select from the Regina Pats, Connor Bedard.
All right. Yep. That happened. Can we get a
Everybody else is mad about it.
Yeah. Let's get a do-over on the lottery, please.
Yeah.
Start again.
Easy call for Bedard. He's a generational superstar, and he'll be the face of the next generation of Blackhawks.
Yep. I mean, it's going to be fun in the Central. There's going to be another superstar, so.
Yep.
Nothing too complicated about it. Second overall is the Anaheim Ducks, which is myself picking. So I'm ready to go here. For Anaheim, with the second overall pick from the Michigan Wolverines, we're taking Adam Fantilli.
I imagine they're not going to react.
Yeah, a lot less clapping for mine. I see how it is. No one likes the Ducks here. Again, don't think this one is all that complicated. 1 and 2 have been pretty set for a while in this draft. So not too much to say about that one. Leave it at that.
Yep.
We move on very quickly. Third overall is the Columbus Blue Jackets, which will be Greg picking for them.
NHL Draft. The Columbus Blue Jackets are proud to select from the United States National Team Development Program center Will Smith.
All right.
I actually don't hate this pick.
I don't either. I mean, you're getting a really, really dynamic player. Really, the only nitpick that you might have here is that you're getting a little bit more of a natural goal scorer to put next to Patrick Laine, and it's like you only got one puck to play with. But really, you're not going to nitpick it that much. He's an ultra dynamic player, which is the thing that you going against Leo Carlsson head to head. That would be the big difference there is that Carlson's a lot more of a kind of a steady playmaking type, and Will Smith
gambling on high skill for sure.
Yep. Potential to be a true game breaker at 1C.
All right, Will Smith gone. You have Carlsson and Michkov still on the board. At 4 is the San Jose Sharks, and Leah is picking for them.
With the fourth overall pick in the NHL Draft, the San Jose Sharks are proud to select from the Swedish Hockey League, Leo Carlsson.
So playing it safe.
Yep.
I have no objections. I mean, San Jose sucks and they need everything. So
hard to miss with your San Jose right there.
It really is. There's no wrong option between Carlsson and Michkov. After that, there are only wrong options. So I'm happy. Leah at least does right by the Sharks.
We do get to play the interesting game of how far will Michkov fall now. It could be literally nowhere, though, as 5th overall is Montreal, and Petey is picking for them.
Bonjour, and welcome to everyone watching from Ziggy's Bar on St. Catherine Street. Bonjour, welcome. With the 5th overall pick in the NHL Draft,
le 5e choix du repêchage de la LNH.
The Montreal Canadiens select Matvei Michkov.
Okay.
So he doesn't drop at all.
Board. Yeah, no dropping for the Russian.
I mean, a game-breaking talent that will be here someday.
So Yeah, it feels like a pretty chalk top 5, though. To be
Yeah,
honest.
and I mean, the idea of putting Michkov with in his prime Cole Caulfield in 3 years is pretty enticing.
Yeah, so it'll be fun in 3 years for Montreal, but that's a long road. Montreal still got to travel.
Feel a little bad for Arizona though that
none of those dropped to 6. Yeah.
exactly in a 5-player draft or 5 players at the top of the draft.
None of them
6
slipped
feels
to
a little
1
dirty.
pick. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, you said it. Arizona has a 6 overall pick. It is Craig picking for them.
With the number 6 overall pick in the 2023 NHL Draft, the Arizona Coyotes are proud to select center Dalibor Dvorsky from Oskarshamn in Sweden.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean this is a guy that people have been fawning over for months now as he's big. He plays center. He's really skilled. Those are all things that I think you could argue Arizona needs. So
yeah, had really made a push for this top 10 range in the last post combine. Really, is when you saw his name started getting thrown around a lot. So, unfortunately, when Will Smith doesn't fall to 6, this is what you have left.
Yeah, and getting an actual center that's going to play center, with there being at least an uncertainty of some kind of guys in their system and what position they ultimately end up as. This is a guy that should be a pivot. So that,
just say you have no faith in Logan Cooley. It's fine.
I don't want to go that far. I'm just saying.
Next up at 7, look, I tried to trade for this pick. They wouldn't let me. Sean is picking for Philadelphia.
With the 7th overall pick, the Philadelphia Flyers are proud to select from the U.S. National Team Development Program, Ryan Leonard.
Yeah, I mean, if this isn't the most Philly pick imaginable.
Yeah, that one felt slam dunk. Put that one home on Broad Street and be done with it.
For hilarious meme reasons, the only more Philly pick would have been Will Smith, but with Ryan Leonard, you're getting a gamer, an ultra try hard, really gritty, a really great culture guy. He's a perfect fit for them trying to kind of kickstart their organization back to relevance.
Yep. At 7, not sure you can do much better than that, to be honest. All right. Keep it rolling here. We have another DNVR folk here. Picking for Washington at 8 is Jesse.
The Washington Capitals are proud to select defenseman David Reinbacher.
Yeah. About where you expected the first defenseman of the draft to go.
Yep. I mean, the question with Reinbacher is how dynamic of a player is he really? Is he really going to be a top pairing guy? Is ultimately he's just going to be more of a jack of all trades, master of none type. He's got, great size. He's right-handed. He plays in all situations, does a little bit of everything. The question, I guess, is he more of like a 30-point guy, or is he a 50-point guy that does everything? Because you pay those guys a little differently. So, and with Washington, a really projectable, safe pick. They don't want to be drafting in the top 10 again too soon. So I think this is a quick path to the NHL guy also makes a lot of sense for them.
Yeah, I again, about where I expected the first defenseman of the draft to go. There's some talk about who that first team might end up being if some teams are willing to take some more risk there, but Reinbacher makes sense. At 9, we have Mario picking for Detroit.
Gross.
With the number 9 overall pick, the Detroit Red Wings, because I have to pick for them, select from the U.S. National Team Development Program, Oliver Moore.
All right. Another projected center here.
Question marks on offensive upside a little bit, but again, really dynamic skater. It's not hard to see where he fits in along down the lineup behind a Dylan Larkin in Detroit.
The modern NHL team, right? They just want to skate you into the ground left and right. So
Mario's disdain for Detroit and my disdain for
it's
Detroit
appreciated.
He should have picked someone bad.
No, we're trying to do a valid mock draft here, not a we hate Detroit mock draft. All
I
right.
understand. I'm just saying.
All right. With the 10th overall pick, St. Louis is on the clock, and Megan is making the pick.
With the 10th overall pick, the St. Louis Blues are proud to select from the Continental Hockey League Dmitry Simashev.
I mean, that's
This
a perfect
makes
pick,
me
to be honest.
really sad because I wanted
Yeah.
to make this pick.
Yep, snaked your. I assume that she just snaked your pick. So
Yeah.
no, that's an organization that's trying to trade for Travis Sanheim actively. So drafting a similar version of him makes a lot of sense with the 10th pick. So an organization sorely lacking in quality defense. That is a great fit.
Yep. I love the pick. I was going to take him at 11 because I picked for Vancouver if they didn't. So now I have to pivot, and I'm picking for Vancouver here. The Vancouver Canucks are proud to select Zach Benson with the 11th overall pick.
I actually kind of hate that.
That's fine. Vancouver
Yeah.
needs everything, and I think
I mean, the one thing that you could argue they don't need is like a small skilled wing, but
no,
he's so good that I mean the talent level there is at some point the juice is worth the squeeze regardless of positional value.
Well, you got to 11 too. I think they need to blow it up anyway. So it's just take the best thing available left, and to me that was Zach Benson. So.
Yeah, I mean, I have a hard time disagreeing in terms of talent because I love Zach Benson, but just as a fit in Vancouver, it's a.
I wasn't worried about fit with that pick, but yeah, I hear you.
I get to be a hater.
At least someone can hate a little bit. Next up at 12, Arizona is back on the clock. This time, Leah making the pick for them.
With the 12th overall pick in the NHL Draft, the Arizona Coyotes are proud to select from the University of Connecticut, Matthew Wood.
Okay, going forward.
I mean, if you put those two guys on a line together, you're going to
feel
be
pretty
really
good about it.
Fun to play against.
Yeah. I think Arizona. It's hard to miss. You just take the guys that come to you in this draft at 6 and 12. To be honest.
Yeah, the only nitpick that I would have is that's an organization that needs defense. They need defenders.
Yeah, I mean, so does every organization. It feels like.
Yeah, but I mean, you know, when Reinbacher and
Simashev are 12,
are both gone between 6 and 12, like that hurts. So
unless you're YOLOing Pelika, it's tough. Yeah,
don't force it. So and Matthew Wood is
he's built different.
Yeah, well, I mean, he's really, especially on the back of the Dvorsky pick at 6. It makes a lot of sense to just pair them up and be like, here, go be besties,
go big, strong, fight.
Yeah, exactly.
At 13 is the Buffalo Sabres, who Sean is picking for.
With the 13th overall pick, the Buffalo Sabres are proud to select from the Swedish Hockey League defenseman Tom Willander.
Okay. The late rising defenseman in this class.
Yep. A guy that on draft day tomorrow could actually go could go higher than this. I mean, he's a dude that has just gotten so much hype attached to him in the last couple of weeks, especially. So it went from maybe he'll be a first round pick to maybe he'll be a top 10 pick. Like the guy just keeps blowing up. So, and with Buffalo, you're just talking about the rich get richer in terms of prospects.
No kidding on the defensive side. All right, keep it rolling here. Pittsburgh is up next, who Jay is picking for at 14.
With the 14th overall pick, the Pittsburgh Penguins are proud to select from the Moose Jaw Warriors, Braden Yeager.
That's a super fun one for Pittsburgh because if that hits, they have got a monster on their hands.
It's the exact type of prospect that Pittsburgh has consistently gotten good stuff out of too, right? Like it fits their organizational footprint super, super well. So makes sense from Pittsburgh's side. AJ, you're finally on the clock at 15 with Nashville. Are you going to sabotage them here?
No, I'm actually. I mean, I don't think so. I think I'm going to draft a good player. But no, at 15 for the Nashville Predators, I'm gonna take from the Brandon Wheat Kings. I'm taking Nate Danielson.
Okay. You
I wanted.
did fall in love with him, didn't you?
I just think that they could really use a good two-way guy. They really needed a good two-way guy there. So down the middle of the ice, they've loaded up on dynamic talents over the last couple of years. They could really just use somebody who cares about his own end of the ice.
I'm with all cities' feelings on this pick. A big boo.
Okay.
16, Jesse is back up on the clock this time for Calgary.
With the 16th pick, the Calgary Flames are selecting Gabe Perreault.
Yep, this was the other guy that I was going to select for Nashville. It was between those two guys. I mean, this is a guy that broke all the scoring records for the DP. That's Jack Hughes, that's Austin Matthews, Trevor Zegras, all those guys. Gabe Perreault is the one that stands at the top of that. So a really, really special playmaker and the kind of offensive talent that could be the face of the next wave of Flames to leave.
A little on the small side, but that's coming from the guy who picked Zach Benson, so I can't say anything.
Yeah, and consistently a theme for this first round once again, because the NHL is moving in that direction of small stars are okay now. So, you're a little more comfortable drafting those kinds of guys.
Unfortunately, we have another Detroit pick here at 17. This time we got Mario picking for him. Oh, it's Mario
how
again.
am I here again for Detroit? Seriously.
Yeah. How did this happen?
With the 17th pick, the Detroit Red Wings are proud to select defenseman from Skellefteå, Axel Sandin Pellikka.
Yep. Detroit picked a Swede. Shocking.
Yep, Detroit picked a Swede. We can check the box and we can all move on. It's something like 28 straight years they've drafted a Swede. So
it's actually silly. Yeah.
Yeah, perfect.
All right, AJ. Let's make the entire city of Winnipeg upset. 18th
oh man. I think Z will still talk to me after this, so I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna take a bigger guy that I think has a little bit of projectable upside. I'm gonna go back out west to the Vancouver Giants and take Samuel Honzek.
I knew you were gonna pick Honzek. I knew it. I knew you liked him too much.
And with the Jets, they've got so many slick playmakers that they could really use. They could use a bigger guy to, pretend like there's a power element there.
Yeah, I mean, you know how I feel about Winnipeg. I think they need to blow it up, so they need everything. Excuse me.
Yeah.
All right. We'll keep it rolling. At 19, the Blackhawks are back on the clock with Greg picking for them.
Alrighty. Well, my pick was just taken, so I'm doing some scrambling here. But with the 19th overall pick, the Blackhawks are proud to select from the Owen Sound Attack left wing Colby Barlow.
That's what Greg and I, he wanted to take Honzek, and Barlow was the guy that I didn't take that I considered taking.
So just swapped it around a little bit.
Yeah. Barlow's a really, what you really like about him, it's a very meat and potatoes. He's got a great shot, and then he does everything else at a pretty solid level. So that's just a good player, just a good player with a great shot, which is very projectable. So easy to like that.
Yep, makes sense. You start seeing a lot of guys like that in the late teens, early 20s, which we're heading into pick number 20 now. Jesse back in the clock for Seattle.
The Seattle Kraken are happy to select Otto Stenberg.
Okay.
An interesting fit with the which Otto Stenberg are they taking? Are they taking the Otto Stenberg who was at U18s and was a game breaker?
In God mode, yeah.
Yeah, and God mode is a good way to put it. Dude, he was incredible at U18s. Otto Stenberg, the rest of the season, was pretty good and looked like a first-round pick who's going to be a middle six guy on the wing. I don't think he'll be a center in the NHL, but will bring an element of a dynamic element to the Kraken's prospect pool.
I talked about him as a potential pick for the Avs at 27. I think he's quite well rounded. Do wonder about the top speed though. 21, we're staying with the Central Division. I guess we're not staying Seattle's Pacific, but we're going to Minnesota with Petey.
Oh, well, first of all, thank everybody over there, over to the Grey Duck for coming out for the draft. Oh, yeah, you betcha. So with 21, the Minnesota Wild proud to select a big old centerman there, Cal Ritchie from the Oshawa Generals.
I think Cal Ritchie sucks, so I love this pick from Minnesota. Huge fan. Well done, Petey.
I'm here for this. I
love that.
I'm glad he's off the board before the Avs pick, so there's no way the Avs end up with him.
So there's no temptation.
Yeah, exactly. 22, we're back to Philadelphia and Sean.
With the 22nd overall pick, the Philadelphia Flyers are proud to select from the Sudbury Wolves left winger Quentin Musty.
We're gonna.
That's sad. Yeah, that's. Glad Richie's gone. Not glad that Quentin Musty is gone.
Yeah,
the Avs
that
pick.
was the heartbreaker.
Look, Musty's super fun. I think he'll be super exciting at the next level. A guy you can just sit there and watch skate down the ice. Philly needs everything, right? So hard to miss for them. 23, you have the New York Rangers with Greg picking, not for Detroit for once.
That's Mario.
Oh, wrong. I can't read, apparently. It's fine.
Well, I'm begrudgingly making this pick for the New York Rangers. And I will be selecting from the London Knights defenseman Oliver Bonk.
Great.
This is what's going to happen on draft day.
Yep.
We're going to watch all of these guys get picked.
We're going to watch all the Avs favorites go right before them.
Also, who made this draft list? A lot of begrudged picks in this mock draft.
There's a lot of spite assignments from Craig.
All right. At least we know what you're getting.
With Bonk, you're just getting a good all around defenseman. The question is how well do those tools project to the NHL?
Yeah,
either we look back in 5 years and go, oh, he was actually maxed out on draft day, or all those tools continue to get better and he just becomes a really good all-around defenseman in the NHL.
Yep. We'll have to wait at least a handful of years to really find that one out. AJ, you're back on the clock with Nashville.
Yeah, so I went with what I think is safer with Nate Danielson the first time around. So I'm going to go with a little bit more of a dynamic element on the back end, and I'm going to go with Mikhail Gulyayev.
All right. The other Russian defenseman.
Yeah, and I want a guy that can push the play a little bit, a guy that can bring make an outlet pass and bring the puck in the offensive zone. I don't know if he's going to run my power play, but I'm looking at a post Yossi world someday.
Someday. That contract's got a lot of meat left on that bone, but
yep.
Every Father Time comes for everyone, I suppose.
Yep.
25, we have St. Louis back on the clock with Craig.
With the 25th pick in the NHL Draft, the St. Louis Blues are proud to select Daniil But from Yaroslavl Lokomotiv.
Yep. I said about him the other day, I'm always going to be a fan of a guy that is 6'5" and is highly skilled.
Put those two things together. Yeah.
Yeah. And with St. Louis, you know that it's just a good organizational fit right there. That's a pick that if it happens on draft day, you go, yeah, that tracks.
Yep. They know how to get NHLers out of those plus size guys for sure.
Yep.
26, man, there are a lot of teams with multiple picks in the first round this year.
There are.
San Jose back on the clock. Leah making the pick.
With the 26th pick in the NHL Draft, the San Jose Sharks are proud to select Edward Chalet.
Okay.
I've been wondering when one of us was going to take that swing on him, because that's a guy with, who seems like he's headed in the opposite direction of a guy like Willander. where it just
Has
seems
been
like
falling down lists.
yeah,
for sure.
it felt like at the start of this process he was a upper first round, upper half of the first round, and has slowly slid since then. So at this point, that's just really good. It's really good value for the Sharks.
I do think over the last handful of years, some of the shine has come off the Czech leagues internationally, as we've seen other leagues like the German leagues kind of rise up the ranks. Anyway, keep things moving here with 27, the Colorado pick. We have Megan on the clock.
With the 27th overall pick, the Colorado Avalanche are proud to select from the University of Michigan, Gavin Brindley.
All right.
Okay. Yeah, I mean we've talked about this. Any Avs fans tuning in
At
will
length,
be very
yeah.
familiar. Yeah,
Yep.
yeah, very familiar with Brindley. He's a little undersized, but a guy that drove the play on every single line that he was on, even when he was playing next to Adam Fantilli.
Yep.
Production came in the second half of the season. The Avs also love their NCAA guys. They want the longer development track.
The
So
4 years to make decisions. Yep. Makes sense for
Europeans
Colorado.
and college guys. That's their sweet spot these days, with not wanting to take guys out of the CHL and have to make decisions in 2 years.
But what about the Leafs, AJ?
I'm so excited we get to talk
that's
about them.
That's brutal for Mario. He gets Detroit twice and Toronto's pick at 28. That's a brutal set.
Yeah.
28, Mario to make the pick.
Let's have a little respect, please. The Toronto Maple Leafs are making a pick. All right. With the 28? 28th overall pick, Toronto Maple Leafs are selecting from the Kelowna Rockets, Andrew Crystal.
Okay.
Yeah. I mean, this is another guy that was upper half of the first round at the start of this, and then as things have gone on, he's kind of slid
fallen
and slid
on
and
some
slid.
boards.
Yeah.
Yep.
It's the playmaking is very high end and is not kidding around. He's got elite hands, but the skating is a huge question mark. And like the number one reason that he's here is that he's 5'9" and may not be able to skate at the NHL level.
Yeah, to play like that off the wing can be tough for sure.
Yeah.
29. Somehow St. Louis has another pick in this draft. Craig, get up there again.
With the 29th pick in the 2023 NHL Draft, the St. Louis Blues are proud to select defenseman Etienne Morin from the Moncton Wildcats.
All right.
So they walk out of this with 2 defensemen.
Yep.
And a 6'5" forward. That's a tidy day for the Blues. Yep. That's I mean, it fits what they need. Like, it really does. Organizationally, if they're going to make all 3 of these selections, this is a pretty good day for them.
Morin, one of the many defensemen in that kind of second tier of D in this draft that would not surprise me to see a run of those guys right around this section. So pick your favorites. Him, Molendyke's in that list. Dragicevic has kind of fallen out of it at this point, but
yeah.
At 30, we have Carolina to make their first pick of the day. Jay making the pick.
The Carolina Hurricanes are proud to select from Penticton, Bradley Nadeau.
The BCHL kid.
Yeah, we were actually just talking about him before we started recording this. He's a smaller guy, again, like a kind of a dynamic element. So I feel like that's going to become my catchphrase after this draft.
Whole lot of kids that are dynamic at their level currently. As always, with junior A kids especially, the conversation is how does it translate to the next level? But
yeah, and especially because the BCHL, it's been kind of iffy lately, and he's 5'10", which is like a little on the small side, but It's really the 160 pounds you're more worried about. Is how much is he going to be able to fill out, and how projectable is it? Also, that he's going to Maine. Like,
just a weird decision to me. That
I mean, it's really just like there haven't been a lot of guys recently to go that route. So, we'll see. We once talked about UMass that way, and now every time a guy goes to UMass, we all just kind of shrug and go, "Yeah, all right, cool."
Cale Makar kind of reshaped that program real quick. So
yeah, so I don't want to hold the main thing too much against him, but it is one of those picks where you're like, do we ever hear from the guy again?
Yeah, we'll see how it plays out. 2 picks left in the first round.
Given that Carolina made it, we probably will.
Yeah, fair enough. Goalie hasn't been taken yet. 31 is Montreal again. PD, let's hear another accent.
Bonjour. With the 31 pick overall, the Montreal Canadiens pick from the hockey hotbed of Phoenix, Arizona, and the Quebec Junior League, Ethan Gauthier.
Yep. Very well done by PD there. Gauthier, scheduled to go right around this part of the draft.
Yeah.
Kind of a weak class from the QMJHL this year.
Yeah. I don't have a lot of thought. I mean, PD's
Fair
cosplay
enough.
just keeps catching me off guard.
He's got it down pat. I'm here for it. And finally, the pick no one cares about, Vegas.
Wow.
No one cares about Vegas, let's be honest. Megan making the pick at 32.
With the 32nd overall pick, the Vegas Golden Knights are proud to select. Wow, sorry. My brain just short-circuited. Bo Akey.
All right. Yeah. Bo Akey, another one of the defensemen in that second tier.
That's
You're a fan of
one
him.
One of those guys where when you watch him, it's all toolsy.
Sure.
Can he? He's got all the elements that you really look for. When you watch him play, you don't see him put it together consistently enough, which is why he's available in this range and not selected in the top 15. Because if he had put it together consistently, you're talking about one of the draft's best defensemen. So he's one of those guys that is, I think it's fair to call him a boomer bust type, because if he puts it all together, he's going to be really, really good, and he's going to be one of the steals of this draft. And if he doesn't, then he's not going to do anything. He's not even going to come close.
I'm not as big a believer as him having the toolbox for all the tools, perhaps. But
yeah, I mean that's the fair question for a lot of those guys: is all the tools, no toolbox, right? You can't fit them all in there, and if you don't know what you're doing with them, they don't really do you a whole lot of good.
Heck, anything can be a hammer if you try hard enough. Here's our full board, all 32 picks. I'm sure we got every single one correct and not a single mistake. No doubt about it.
The one big surprise for me here is that Riley Height slips out of this first round.
A guy I wouldn't even mind at 27, to be honest with you, but it just, again, you get down the lists on these ones, and there's guys that fall. There's different draft lists that you're just taking the best guy on your board. So reasonably could shake out this way.
Yeah, and if we were to get into the second round of things, the top of them, I think Riley Height, Lucas Dragicevic, Grayson Sachin, David Edstrom, Michael Hrabal, Jaden Perron, Oscar Fisker-Molgaard are all guys that you would be talking about.
Yeah.
Yeah. Charlie Stramel, another one. That Theo Lindstein. So some pretty good talent that gets out of this first round. And from the Avs perspective, this is one where you're like, this is why you trade back.
Yeah, there you go. Plenty of options there. Hope everyone watching enjoyed the first edition of our All-City NHL Mock Draft. We will have tons of coverage from Draft Day itself tomorrow, no matter which beat you're watching, be it CHGO, DNVR, or PHNX. We've got people at the draft. We'll have live shows going. Be sure to tune in, hang out with us. And for everyone out in Nashville, thank you for doing the mock draft with us. We appreciate all of y'all. And we will talk to whoever's watching on the next one.